sensitive and open personality is the basis of so many artists. It's how they see the things that others don't, and tap so deeply into the music and emotion of the everyday. But just like all personality traits, sensitivity has its harder side to deal with.
That's like the one thing in my whole life that keeps me sane is music, making music and performing it.
This video is about the writing process of Amy Winehouse, a picture of that all-too-human artist.
I know that if I am honest about myself, I know there's girls that will hear that in my album and be like, yeah, I felt that, and it's cool, other people feel this, you know what I mean? That's what I'm here for.
We're going to take a deep dive into what made Amy's creative approach so unique, and put our finger on some clear takeaways that we can bring into our own creative practice. But first I want to take a look at the heart of this artist and try to define what made her voice specifically break through and connect with so many people.
Welcome back to 45th and Night. Please give a warm, warm round of applause for Amy Winehouse.
Meet you downstairs in the veranda. Yo, rolled up sleep.
I think you do have to suffer for your art, you know. I know I have. I know the reason it took me 3 years to write another, not to write it, but to get that big chunk of my life that I could then go back and write about. The reason it took me that long is because I had to, you know, have some peaks and troughs, definitely.
Sometimes you have to get all the crap out of the way before you hit the good stuff, and you're like, okay, I'm getting good stuff now. The song's about a relationship that was kind of doomed from the start. It's, you know, songs about when I fell in love and it went wrong. But I needed enough distance from it so that it wasn't like raw emotion anymore, but not enough distance that I'd forget.
The other technical things are not as important. I think it's just like how much you really believe that she meant those songs. You can't really separate like why you feel it so much. You feel it so much because she takes this melodic turn there, or are you feeling it because the lyric just feels so raw and honest, and it's probably not that easy to separate.
So I really started writing music just as to challenge myself, you know, to see what I could write. And having listened to jazz and, you know, great songwriters like James Taylor and Carole King, you know, it was I felt like I had nothing new that was coming out at the time that really represented me or the way I felt. So I just started writing really my own stuff and from personal experience.
Unlike other artists, Amy would never waver from her true musical passion. Early on in her career, there was a belief that the commitment to jazz would always limit her from breaking through into major popular success. In fact, the truth was the direct opposite.
I should have been born, you know, 30, 35 years ago, you know. I should be in the same generation as, or the same age group as, you know, Omar and Misha. And I think if there's anything in my voice that they've warmed to, it's probably because I grew up listening to the same records, you know, they would have done. Dinah Washington and Sarah Vaughan and Minnie Riperton.
That cry. How can I go on?
Like I said, a lot of new music just goes over my head, and I'm like a little old man. I'm kind of like, is this cool? The kids like it? All right. I'm not going to play it, but cool. It's important to me to write songs because to me, jazz is not singing dead people's music. It is carrying a form forward, you know what I mean, and doing something different with it.
I mean, something like hip-hop, which I've always loved, you know, that's what I would listen to with my friends. That was our shared interest. But jazz was always my personal music.
She had the ability, you know, she had the stylings of a 65-year-old jazz singer who knew the ropes up and down, and you were going to get a different performance every time. I could hear that in her first singing for me in front of me, and I was like, okay, oh, this is real.
She's such a jazz snob. She would always be on her computer sending me MP3s. Listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. I thought I had my doctorate in jazz, but no, like, she taught me a lot. She was like, all right, we're gonna start a super group. You, me, Mos, and Raphael Sadiq. I was like, okay. And she would like assign homework. All right, study this record, study this record, study this record.
Okay, we've come to the final section of the video, and I want to offer up what I think is the central point of this artist's story. Because forget about the drugs and the extraneous narratives that others wanted to push on Amy. The drive for all of this, and the reason why she's affected so many, is truly simple, and the lesson that every artist can take forward.
Success to me is
having the freedom to work with whoever I want to work with.
Yeah.
To always be able to just f everything off and go to the studio when I have to go to the studio.
Because I'm a jazz singer, I don't feel like I have to prove a lot of stuff as far as my music is concerned. I can be a bit straighter, you know what I mean? I was never trying to be like England's jazz singer, so I've been able to do exactly what I want to do. I just do what I love, you know, and I'm lucky that I have been able to do that.
And she sat out in my back garden for about 4 days. She just take her little notebook and just keep writing.
I mean, when I sit down to write a song, I don't think this will be good. I don't think this sounds a bit like that. I should work that in and make that sound like that. And I don't think I should have that particular line in it. Like, I just sit down and just let it come out, you know what I mean? And that's what you have to do. You have to let a song grow. You can't push a song out. And you can't force it to be anything when it's out. You've just got to let it grow. When I write a song, I don't think verse, chorus, verse, chorus. It's important for me to get a whole thought out, a complete thought. And that's why I push myself on the chords, I push myself on the melody, and the lyrics are probably the hardest things, you know, you have to challenge yourself. I have to challenge myself. I could never sing a lyric that I wasn't quite sure about.
Okay, I want to play this one out with some words from Amy herself, but peace to you for sticking around to the end. And I hope you've got something from what was covered here. If anything has connected with you, especially about this piece, consider sharing it with a friend this week or dropping a comment down below for the community. Until next time, thanks for watching and peace in your creative work.
Nothing I do is like, listen, I'm just a musician, yeah? I don't think about who's going to hear it, who's going to buy it, who I'd like to hear it or buy it. I only make music that I would like to hear. That's all I've done. I'm lucky that I've been able to make it.